Have you ever saw something spawn in a Shindo Life and went, oh man, this is trash? Well, this is what this video is all about. This video is going to be the top 10 worst mode awakenings in Shindo Life. Now, I am going to be including some Bloodline modes only if they're really, really bad, but this is kind of somewhat focused towards the Subjutsu modes because those are what I consider true mode awakenings. But I will be including some Bloodline modes because they are just that bad. So if you guys enjoyed this video, remember to hit that like button, subscribe, and hopefully see you next one, guys. Let's get right into it. Alright, so we're starting off with the top 10 most useless tier list off with Captain Jokai. This would be a most useless without having the rarest sub ability mode awakening in the entire game, and it being pretty bad. I mean, so if you guys are unaware, it does actually give you more block. So it gives you a ton of block when people actually M1 you. The block is insane, don't get me wrong. Like the block, it is practically unblock breakable. Like you cannot break the block of it. So if you like to hold your right mouse button down, Captain Jokai might be for you. But that's the only thing Captain Jokai really has going for it, because the M1s, they knock them back way too far to be useful. The weapon spec is just it's not very good. It does like no damage. It glitches out sometimes. The Z spec is a good ragdoll ability, a quick ragdoll ability, but it's very, very hard countered by counters. So Captain Jokai is kind of useless in all honesty. If they were to buff the M1s, maybe rework the weapon spec to being like something else about Captain America, that would be quite cool. Oops, I mean Captain Jokai. But yeah, I think I am one of the people that actually really like this mode, but I am aware of how useless it is, especially with strong block being a thing. Captain Jokai, it is what it is. But I do think the strong block makes sense for who the character is based off of. I heard if you like this video right now, and if you haven't yet, you will immediately get 10 million times luck in getting the best mode awakenings in the game. So do it now before it's too late. Now coming in 9th place is going to be Cobra Stretch Mode. Now, I'm sure a lot of you guys don't even know this exists in the game because of just how bad it is. The M1s they're okay. I mean, don't get me wrong, the M1s are fine. They're just buffed M1s that don't knock back. But this Z spec is uncommable. It's very, very cool Z spec because it's like, oh man, One Piece mode, dope. But no, the Z spec is pretty bad because it knocks people back super far. The stats are pretty terrible on the mode as well. I do think they plan on adding more modes to it because it does have levels to it. So I think they will be adding gears to it eventually. You know what I mean? But yeah, for now, this is one of the most useless modes in the game. And hopefully they do actually eventually add the gears because that would actually be a really cool mode of evolution in my opinion. The coming in 8th place is actually going to be Dongan. I'm sure you guys know why Dongan's going to be here. The stats are pretty terrible. The actual mode M1s, like I do think this mode is a very cool mode. Like who doesn't like being in a giant blob, right? But the mode has actually been buffed recently because of a certain someone, but it is still bad in my opinion, in all honesty. But also, wait, what? Did you guys just see that? Is that a glitch? Did I just discover a glitch in this game? It hit him. So it has the wave AoE, but on vanishing clone. Look at this. That is definitely a glitch. All right, there you go. I just discovered the glitch, Rogue Games. Okay, but jokes aside, the mode M1s, they're okay. They do block break now, but I do think this mode still isn't really that great, but it doesn't really need to be that great, in all honesty. I mean, it's Dongan. Like, what more can you ask for than just water, right? Also, I can't believe I discovered that. That's kind of funny. The coming in 7th place is going to be Glacier. Now, I'm not going to talk about this too much because Glacier really doesn't have anything going on for it. It has, like, very low stats, no buffed M1s, and the C-Spec, man, this C-Spec is so bad. Like, yes, okay, I am aware the C-Spec is really, really, really good in team fights, but most people in Shindo Life don't really team fight. They either go into, PvP in a, like, normal RPG game mode and just kind of just random kill people, or they do 1v1s. That's kind of the only thing people do in this game. People don't really team fight that much, and even if they do in a 2v2 situation, this move is still pretty bad in a 2v2. It has to be like a 10v10 for this move to actually be good, which some people do that stuff. So I do understand why it may not be the worst. That's why it's going to be in 7th place. Now, before I say the 6th place ranking on this, I will be eating the hottest peppers in the entire world. The top 3, I will be eating them for a special 200k challenge, so be prepared for that. It's looking like it's going to happen this month, so just be on the lookout for that because it's going to be very funny. But, I'm sure I'll be perfectly fine, right? So yeah, 6th place is actually going to be Bubble. Bubble's going to be coming to 6th. I mean, there's not much to say about this. The stats are terrible. The mode's bad. Like the C-Spec, it's just bad for this meta in general. It used to be actually kind of decent. Them ones still knock you back like halfway across the arena and stuff like that. So I mean, there's not really much to say about Bubble. Just use Acid instead. Now coming to 5th place is actually going to be Puppet Platinum Halloween. So Puppet Platinum Halloween is going to be coming to 5th place just because it's just meant for M1 combos. But even then, it's really not that great for M1 combos. There's not really much else to say about this. It's an M1 combo move. Also, that just did a lot of damage. Maybe I'm disrespecting Platinum for no reason, but that just did like 100,000 damage. Dang, son. The coming to 4th place is going to be Santum Platinum Winter. Now, the reason for this is because it's literally literally just Puppet Platinum Halloween, but it actually knocks them back. This Z-Spec does do a lot more damage, but it's very, very hard to combo with compared to Puppet Platinum. So that's just the main reason why it's going to be on here. Why would you go for something that is equally rare or rarer when you could just use a different one that is the exact same thing, but just strictly better for everything that you would want to do with it? So coming to third place is going to be Diva Red Goku. Now, I'm sure I don't need to explain this that much, but the stats of this mode are actually quite good. I mean, like, the stats on Diva Red mode are actually, you know, they're actually pretty good. Also, this looks very cool. But the M1s, first of all, they do have the old knockback, so they don't have the buffed knockback. The weapon spec is a Red Goku pool, so, you know, that's a plus, I guess. And the C-Spec is just kind of like a stalling ability. It's kind of hard to use in combos nowadays, but you can actually use it in general. But I do feel like Diva Red, it's a very useless mode, but it's a cool mode. So it makes me double sad. That's why it's going to rank so high, because even though some of the abilities are actually usable, it makes me double sad because this is a very cool mode and it has terrible abilities. Now coming to second place is going to be Bat Curse Spirit. Now Bat Curse Spirit is just bad. I mean, there's not much to say about it. It's basically just an Electro Blade in a mode, but terrible. That's just the fact that the M1s, they're not really that great. The stats are terrible on this mode, and overall Bat Curse Spirit is just a really bad mode in general. That's why it's going to be in the top 10 most useless. Not only is it bad, but it is quite literally useless. It's an Electro Blade on a mode that takes like 10 years to start up. You can also fly around with it, which is pretty cool, but overall it's pretty bad. Now honorable mention 1 is actually going to be the Spider Cursed Spirit. Now I'm sure you guys know why this is going to be in the honorable mentions. This is just a troll mode. I mean, like, it's a troll mode for a reason, in all honesty. I mean, like, look at this. He shoots webs out of his butthole, and then he stuns you with webs out of his butthole. And then the actual mode spec, it can basically keep you infinitely stunned, you know, but it does no damage. So they're gonna waste all their mode, like, basically trying to troll you the entire time. It also does have a grapple ability, which is cool, and I do have some sticky webs on me. So yeah, I mean, if you like trolling people, this mode's great, but otherwise it's pretty useless. Now honorable mention 2 is going to be the Gen 1s. Now before you go and dislike this video, let me explain. They still do not have Baron mode, which is the single most useful thing about a tailed beast. Since they don't have Baron mode, they are really just not good at all. I mean, when it comes to Gen 1 is just quite literally left in the dust. It's kind of just there for visual stuff. So if you think it looks cool, then you usually will just go with Gen 1. But otherwise, Gen 2 is always better. And I do think it's useless just because why would you grind for a Gen 1 when a Gen 2 has something that is infinitely better than a Gen 1? By the way, guys, what is your favorite mode awakening in Shindo Life? What's just your favorite mode? What is just your go-to mode in the game? Now coming to first place is of course going to be Mecha Spirit. Now if you guys are unaware of just how garbage this is, well, you're about to find out, bad boy. First mode has no buffed M1s, which is fine, but look at this, how terrible the stats of the first mode are. So that means you're practically forced to use the second mode. Also, the abilities of the first mode are pretty bad. That's like a place lock low damage ability. The Z-Spec is a slam, and you guys know how bad slam abilities are. So like, okay, yeah, okay, it's trash. Let's use the second mode. Okay, first of all, stats still are very bad. The M1s drain chi from you, and they don't even do that much damage. Like, it's one of the only M1s in the game that drain chi from you. Hasn't been fixed yet, which I'm sure Rogue Games doesn't really care about this Bloodline that much, just because people never use the mode in the first place. But the M1s drain a ton of chi from you. They don't really do that much damage. They are ranged, which is cool, but there's other ranged M1s in the game that drain no chi from you at all. That's the fact that the Z-Spec is like, it's like a Paul Z-Spec, but just strictly worse. And the weapon spec, I'm pretty sure this doesn't have a weapon spec. I'm almost positive. So yeah, Mech Spirit is very bad, and I'm sure I've just showed you guys why. I really wish this would get fixed, because it is by far one of the coolest ones in the game. I mean, like, you're a giant core Mecha Spirit. Like, it's cool, but it's just bad. So I really hope it does get reworked eventually. And yeah, anyways, guys, that's actually it for this video. If you guys enjoyed this video, remember to hit that like button, subscribe, and hope to see you next week, guys. Peace.